With the Indian Ocean now behind us, we move into the Pacific, the largest of all the oceans. There is little chance of seeing Cape Leeuwin, the second of the three great capes on the course, located at the southwestern tip of Australia. The cape is named after the Dutch ship Leeuwin, meaning lion, which discovered it in 1622. It is positioned at 34 degrees south, whereas Spindrift is sailing even further south, between the roaring 40s and the fierce 50s, where she faces the constant danger posed by drift ice. Icebergs are formed by ice that can be up to 150,000 years old. Once icebergs have broken away from pack ice, they can drift around Antarctica for years, gradually shifting northwards from one year to the next. They constantly melt, and the pieces that break away from the main iceberg are the biggest threat. These growlers are our worst enemies. Even though they weigh several tons, they are not picked up by our radar systems, because they float just below the surface of the water. There is a real risk of hitting them as soon as you move into the roaring 40s. However, monitoring the water temperature provides an excellent indicator as to where they might be. Below 3 degrees Celsius, the risk increases and the crew on deck become extra vigilant at night, scanning the horizon with infrared glasses. Thankfully, today we have a much better idea where icebergs are located thanks to specialist institutes that produce high-resolution radar satellite imagery. Using this technology, on our last attempt, we were warned about 34 icebergs of different sizes on the way to Cape Horn. This data allowed us to plot a course that puts safety over performance. The priority will be the same this time around. Spindrift's crew won the record, but not at any cost. After entering the Pacific, we continue our route around Antarctica, passing the remarkable Ross Sea to the southeast of New Zealand. Discovered in 1841, the Ross Sea is one of the most beautiful and intriguing places in the world. Its bay covers 3.6 million square kilometers and is home to species that have been living and breeding there for thousands of years. Killer whales, adelie and emperor penguins, minke whales, Antarctic petrels, and Weddell seals are among the iconic animals in the region that were once under severe threat from fishing. Thankfully, a ban on fishing was imposed in October 2016, and with Russia agreeing to stop sending fishing vessels there, this unpolluted ecosystem officially became the world's largest protected marine sanctuary. It was an historic agreement, the first time that countries had committed to protecting a vast portion of the ocean outside their national jurisdictions. This kind of good news is all too rare, but this achievement was a giant step forward. Many others like this are still desperately needed. Cape Horn, at last! As soon as you enter the Southern Ocean, this cape is all you can think about. Symbolically, it marks our way out and our return to our more hospitable world. Seeing the Cape's headland scroll past us to port is a moment of sheer joy, if the weather is good. There is a reason why Cape Horn is such a fabled landmark, and it owes its status to its geography. Just 550 miles separated from the continent of Antarctica, creating a kind of funnel that encloses the Pacific. This is the famous Drake Passage, where the wind from the depressions is compressed and funneled. On top of that, the swell, previously unhindered, crashes into the rising seabed. Because of the 56 degrees south latitude, the rising seabed and the ocean current, whenever the wind picks up, the Horn becomes the most dangerous place in the world for any kind of boat, whether powered by the wind or by an engine. The Cape's tragic history, with so many shipwrecks, shows just how dangerous it is. When I rounded the Cape, the conditions were perfect. I hope they'll be the same this time around.